Hearing all over the world, almost every nation for the last 2,000 years, to Hindus, to Buddhists, to Muslims, to Jews, and they're converting. I don't know of any other faith that could make such a claim. So this is...
Yeah. We in war, ladies and gentlemen. We at war.
In this clip, we got Justin Bass and Bart Ehrman. They're talking about Jesus. If anybody knows Bart Ehrman, he's a non-believer. He does believe Jesus was a real person, though. And Justin Bass is a believer. And they're talking about there is a lot of reports today by Muslims, Buddhists, and people of every other religion in the world that are actually having dreams where they say they've seen the risen Christ.
A unique phenomenon. There's even I think Bart's aware of this because he referenced Philip Weeby's book, Visions of Jesus, which I'm had enjoyed reading in preparation for my book, and he talks about how there's even a separate study in the psychological understanding of the paranormal and of these type of things called Christic visions because they're so common. And
if you follow my channel at all, you know I've gone in on Troy Black, Carmine, Hendricks, Jalen and Ashley, Marcus Rogers, all the people that every other day have a dream, a vision, a word for the Lord, a word from the Lord that they actually sit down and write. And then they read off of the paper. And people take that as a word from God. That is not. This right here, what we're talking about, is the dreams and visions that I do believe in. The Muslim, the Buddhist, the person that's far from the truth of God, if they've been predestined, God is going to draw them out of that. And a lot of times he does it with dreams and visions. I'm actually going to share a testimony I know of a Christian that was in Iran at one time. Bart Ehrman is a huge skeptic. Just look how cold this guy is sitting there, man. This dude here doesn't look like a happy person. When you look at Bart Ehrman, he looks like a guy that has, it's the proverbial, he's got a big hole in his heart that only God can fill.
There's so many, this is happening so often. So that's what I would say is it's really truly a unique phenomenon with, again, the person of Jesus. So this is just another line of evidence to add to all these others that we've been talking about that I think suggests this Jesus rose from the dead.
Okay, but
well, I don't really have anything to say about it. I mean,
I'm pretty sure you do, but
oh no, I really don't. I mean, because I don't think it's any evidence of anything. I mean,
okay.
People have dreams about all sorts of things. It doesn't mean the thing is real. I mean, so I'm sorry, I've never thought about it, studied it. I read this book, and it was a good book. It's very weird, very strange. I don't believe it really happened.
It's no news that Bart Ehrman denies the resurrection, but what they're talking about is the reports that are coming up of people seeing the risen Jesus in dreams and in visions. And Bart is discrediting that. Now, you know my channel. I go in on these guys that do the dreams and do the visions and do the nonsense because I have the discernment to see that nonsense is not from God. But I had a good friend of mine that I know that was telling me a story of a missionary in Iran. This guy was in Iran. He got kidnapped. And when he got kidnapped, these guys held him in a room. They fed him. They took care of him, but he had a hood over his head basically the whole time that he was captive. Nighttime fell and they were scurrying him about town. He would jump in a car, he would drive. He was witnessing all this, but he couldn't see. And then he remembers walking up some steps and he got to a roof, and then he remembers jumping from one roof to another roof. And then they brought him into a room. They took the hood off of his head, and he said it was so surreal. He looked around, and it was a bunch of Muslim men sitting around him. Them had big smiles on their faces like they were so happy to see him. He's freaking out. He thinks he's going to die, and these guys all tell him, listen, we keep having dreams of Jesus, and we need somebody to tell us about him. But in the country that they're from, that can actually get you killed. So they kidnapped this pastor and brought him there to hear about the Lord. Now that's a dream and vision that I can hold on to and know that it's from the Lord.